Hello, Angelique. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I just arrived back in London from the USA yesterday, so hopefully I'm not too jet lagged for everybody.
No, you're going to be great. I'm glad you had a safe flight. You really are all over the place. That's so fun. Um, well, I am so excited to chat with you today. Angelique Miller, the Senior Director, Head of Expedia Media Group Studio. Amazing. Um, I'm Sara Castillo. I am the co-founder and president of TapOnIt. Just really quick about what TapOnIt is. We are a text message marketing and communications platform. So we work with brands of all shapes and sizes to power their SMS and MMS marketing campaigns. And I'm extremely excited to chat with you today because, as I was telling you yesterday, I am a huge travel buff. Traveling is one of my absolute favorite things to do. It has been for as long as I can remember. And so, having this conversation with you today is more exciting just because it is something that, I personally enjoy as well. So, to just kind of get started, today's conversations are focused on the 2023 outlook. So, I have recently read an article from Expedia talking about 2023 being the no normal. So, let's kind of get into that. Tell us all about this no normal that we should expect.
Sure, yeah. So we just released our 2023 travel trends report, and quite frankly, I think much like the survey suggested, everyone's really sick of doing the same old things. I think when we came out of the pandemic, everyone promised to bring travel back better, to be and kind of latch on to all of those big bucket list things that we weren't able to do for so long. And so I think what we're predicting is that everyone is just going to buck the trends, to really get out there and start exploring the world in ways that we've never done before. I think that's very much been a product, perhaps, of social media. The influencers or content creators, as we're supposed to say now, just really putting the same content out there, the same, imagery. It's all just, been there, done that before. And so what we're hoping is that that by not leaning into all of those things that we've seen and really breaking the mold, we'll be able to experience the world in a different way.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, there were some very specific trends in this report that I thought were super interesting. One of them talked about people using TV and movies as inspiration for where they want to go. And there was one in particular that we were talking about yesterday. Tell us a little bit about the cowboycation.
The cowboycations. Well, I think backing up a little bit, I think what we're seeing a little bit to what I just alluded to in terms of social media is that really entertainment, TV, film is really driving now decisions behind tourism and where you want to go. So whereas in 2019, 2020, it was all about where's the influencer that you're seeing in your Instagram feed. Really, travel entertainment is now taking over when it comes to what social media was normally king. So where, whether it's, and it's not anything new, right? We know that people have been going to New Zealand, to sort of walk in the steps of Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. We know that, you can see sort of tours around West Village in New York for many years as women try to recreate the Sex and the City scenes. But really, I think we've hit now a sort of boiling point with regards to it, and one of the trends that we're seeing off the back of the television influence is the cowboycation. So more than ever on our Vrbo, which is our vacation rental property site, people really interested in those big ranch style holidays. I think that's having just been binging on Yellowstone, which I haven't been able to get in the UK, but when I was back home this weekend, I was watching it, and I for the first time ever was like, I have to get to Montana. I want to live on a ranch for a weekend. So we're really starting to see that through the data and booking analysis as well on our platforms.
That's so awesome. I love it. And I feel the same exact way. Never in my life did I think Montana would be on the top of my vacation list, but then you're like, okay, that's what I get to experience. Yeah,
especially if it comes with a private helicopter, which I think is where they drive around, and it's amazing.
Can we get those through Expedia? Like, can I?
I'll have to add that to the list of products.
Perfect. Something else from the trends that I thought was super interesting and honestly have experienced, like when I was younger and trying to travel as much as possible, but didn't have a big budget, was people seem to be spending less on like big 5-star hotels and trying to do their stay a little bit more cultural, like maybe they're staying like with a family, or they're staying in something that is not necessarily what you would think to be an extravagant vacation, and they're spending less so that they can do more once they're there. Tell us about that trend.
Yeah, look, I mean, the economic forecast is, it's not looking great for next year. But, to that, we've not seen any slowdown when it comes to people wanting to use what disposable income that they will have on travel. We are, as an organization, we believe that experiences matter more than things. And so, when it comes down to choosing this or that, we will 100% always choose to travel. We believe that enriches everyone.
Yep.
I think when to tie that into how people are being very conscious about how they're spending money, they're looking at these 3-star properties as a means to, it's not to say that it's they're not getting anything less, right? It's just weighing up, do we need all of the amenities of a 5-star property? And what you'll find is, in a 3-star hotel, you're getting really amazing kind of design features, or, it feels much more connected to the local culture or sort of presence within a city. So you're not detracting, you just might not have everything at your fingertips. But to your point, Sara, that means that you're going to go out and, hit the streets, go off the beaten path, and really experience a destination at its kind of fundamental core, which is really with the locals and getting that authentic experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about your recent partnership with Afterpay, which was extremely exciting to read about. Tell us how that came about. What was the reason behind it? What was the goal of it? And, how do you see it helping travelers?
Sure. So my team wasn't responsible for Afterpay, but I can speak to a little bit. We do have, I have colleagues that work in the same part of the organization that run that program. I think without getting into too, detailed with Afterpay itself, because obviously I'm not the subject matter expert on that, but I can help you understand the rationale for us wanting to enter into partnerships like that. Yeah. And, this past year, and more so than ever going into 2023, Expedia Group is really focusing on building our brands in a way that gives travelers reasons to book with us versus anywhere else. And that comes down to switching a mindset that probably we've had for too long, is around chasing an acquisition, chasing a customer, and really moving into this space where, they're not customers, actually, they're travelers. And we want to help them every step of the way. And it's been really enlightening for me to see over the last 12 months, the company sort of shift into the space of, moving from just trying to acquire a new customer to actually really focusing more on loyalty and retention, and just understanding how we need to improve the customer experience in order to improve that customer experience. And one of the ways in which we know we can do that, whether it's on our own platform or with partners that we help to power, like Afterpay, is that we're able to provide through our technology, through our brands, through our ecosystem, ways in which we will benefit a traveler in the way they want. So in this instance, we're enabling a particular audience that wants to and needs to pay for travel in a certain way. We're giving them the ability to do that. So we're powering that. And so we believe that by opening up our sort of technology and really trying to understand who's the traveler that we're trying to help and to make their experience better, we do that. And so that's, again, one example is Afterpay. We have other examples where we're helping to power a Liverpool FC fan or Champions League or NBA. So it's really finding these kind of passion-led themes or utility-based necessities and giving them the best traveler customer experience that we can.
Yeah, and let's come back to those sort of experiences, because I think that's super interesting. But you had said something yesterday that I thought was really like right on the nose about about Afterpay and that ability to kind of like split up your payments. Is You're not trying to get people to buy something they can't afford, right? Sure. That is not the goal, where it's like, hey, you should do this because we're going to split it up for you. That is not the goal at all. The goal is that by letting them, purchase and pay in installments up until, the trip or whenever, is that, a lot of times after you book the hotel and pay it in full and book the flight and pay it in full and book, whatever else, by the time you get to the destination, you're like, oh man, there's my budget, right? So tell us a little bit, kind of dig into that a little bit more.
Well, you explained it really well. This, again, we don't want to promote things that people can't afford, but the reality is, from an Expedia standpoint, our average traveler is getting older. So these are again, these are ways in which perhaps we can help to we can help to access a younger, kind of beyond the millennial age traveler, which might not at this point in time in their life have the same amount of disposable income at hand. And so when you do look at, on one hand, we're promoting these, big bucket list trips. We're promoting the fact that you should buy these experiences over things. We want to be able to enable that in the best way possible too. And so to our conversation yesterday, it doesn't make any sense to book your flight, book your hotel, and then once you get to the place that you're so excited to be going to, that you actually have nothing left in your wallet to experience it. And it's not to say that everything has to be luxury. Right, it's just that whether you're traveling perhaps from a gastronomy standpoint, or you're traveling for an event specifically, whatever is fueling your travel kind of passions, you want to be able to be able to actually do those things once you're there. And so we believe that partnerships like Afterpay, we've also worked in the past with Klarna. It's really, again, helping to enable people to get the most out of their trip, not just when you've booked with us, but once you're in the destination too. And that for us is part of that full traveler experience. It's not just once they've transacted, they're gone. For us, we want to be able to power and help them every step of the way too, which again, as I said, is doing the best things that you want to do in the destination that you're in.
Absolutely. So going back to the partnerships, the things that you're doing with what were some of the things that you mentioned, some of the teams and things? Yeah.
So we're investing in, we have sponsorships around the world. Our data shows that specifically sport and music lovers index very high when it comes to travel. And we believe that nothing beats being there, right? Being at the football match, being at the World Cup, sure beats, sitting, watching it at home in between when I'm trying to, be on Zoom calls or cooking dinner for my children. So really it is about, again, much like the Afterpay conversation, it's about enabling those travelers. And so what we're doing within the Expedia ecosystem is really starting to appeal to niche kind of interest or passion-led audiences. So you don't just go onto Expedia and you'll be able to sort of, get your, billions of search results listings based on some parameters that you've told us. Really curating both inspirational content and shoppable product within an environment that's going to suit your needs. So whether you're someone that wants to travel to New Orleans Jazz Fest, or you're someone that wants to go to the next Liverpool FC away match against Paris Saint-Germain, it's really creating these environments that you as a fan are going to get, kind of exclusive deals and rewards. You might get special access to the things that we can unlock through our sponsorships, access to player meet and greets, etc. So it's really, again, about not just the transaction, but that full kind of approach as to how we can improve your travel when you are traveling for specific things.
So making it a full experience, not just the one event that you traveled there to go to, but making it
exactly. Yeah, if you're a sports fan and you're away and you're in a kind of foreign place, it's a little bit daunting if you're not used to it, not used to the city. And so knowing that you're in a hotel with a bunch of other football fans that are supporting the same team as you, we've curated a perfect weekend itinerary, so where all of your other kind of Liverpool FC fans are going to be kind of, pre-gaming and post-gaming. It's creating this, again, a sense of community for people that are traveling. And so the ambition is that we will, continue to do that through different passion vehicles. But obviously, as I said, the data is suggesting that we should start with sport and music.
Yeah, absolutely. One amazing way too, as someone who, is interested in a specific, team or music festival or whatever, what a great way to meet other people that have your same, excitement and things that they're interested in. That's always so much fun. And then from there, who knows what could happen, right? And right, a great way too for Expedia to build that lifetime customer as well, because
that's
if they
right. We talking about that. It's helping to create a further dialogue for us too, how we're communicating with them, how they're creating continued advocacy for us because they had, an amazing time when they were away, and now they're coming back. And again, you can see where it starts to create that flywheel of loyalty and reward. And, I know in your business, it's all about, how we can communicate to our customers or travelers in a really authentic way. In a really personal way. And I think that's, it all becomes part of that, that communication strategy is really connecting with them in, again, a really very intimate and authentic way that makes the traveler feel that they aren't just a transaction with us.
Absolutely. Well, and then of course for Expedia, somebody coming back and saying, I just went on this trip and this is what I did. And I booked it all through Expedia and they had me, they gave me this, and this, and it was amazing. That's one of the best forms of marketing for Expedia, of course, because people, take recommendations from their friends, people they know and trust.
Yeah, it's a much more cost-effective channel as well. It's a lot easier to retain a customer, right, than acquire a new one. So Absolutely. You can see the logic in trying to focus, not just because it's the right thing to do, it's economically viable as well for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. So talking about, technologies, as a marketer, what technologies are you most excited about as you head into 2023?
Yeah, I think for us, it really, and I think a lot of businesses, I think TikTok, even Spotify recently, they're really starting to crack, I think, the code on shoppable content. Okay. And that's something that we're really specifically interested in. We've built, a kind of shoppable video platform. We're working a lot with influencers and content creators to really move forward that space when it comes to travel. I think the general retail sector has done, they're miles ahead of everyone when it comes to shoppable products within the creators economy. So I think that, as we said, the kind of television and entertainment boost when it comes to influencing decisions and influencing behavior, I see that creator economy going to continue to grow into 2023 and become even more powerful. But I think the key, especially for the likes of the travel industry, for instance, is to be able to tie that back into kind of actionable, whether it's booking, whether it's actually just taking the next steps to research this particular destination. There's been a huge disconnect between what we're talking about when it comes to like, travel content, travel inspiration, and then being able to facilitate that. Opposite of, I think, how, the retail industry, whether it's sort of clothing, etc. Can't tell you how many things I've bought on Instagram in the last 12 months. But it's for me, I'm really excited about how we can potentially continue to disrupt that space, particularly when it comes to travel, booking travel through shoppable content.
Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, that sounds really fun and dangerous if it makes it that easy.
Right. Stop buying the things. You don't need any more shoes. Well, you do need more shoes, and you'll buy those once you've booked your trip and you realize you need to have another pair of sandals to take with you. But no, it's really about being able to connect that all the way through the customer journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see, as we head into 2023, what are ways that Expedia is looking to stand out as the go-to travel company? I think we've kind of touched on a little bit of that, but it seems to really just be about experience.
Well, it's about that. It's about the traveler experience. That is at the core of everything that we're thinking about. We've spent the last 12 months, building up our brand platforms to have very distinct identities and reasons too. So it's not just, just kind of shopping around a million sites until you find the lowest price. It's creating that lifetime customer value, and really trying to understand, why would you go to Expedia to book something versus hotels.com versus Vrbo. And so we're creating some clear identities under a house of brands mentality. And it means that we're just not then competing against each other, right? And we all have, all of our brands have a very distinct purpose. So that's something that's going to continue to obviously drive where we're going, but then creating that great kind of traveler-centric mindset. We're also, as I said, focusing a lot on loyalty. So we've got some really, really exciting things coming from that standpoint in Q2. So again, really trying to transform how customers can be rewarded by traveling with us versus again, just a commoditized kind of system. So that's really what we're focusing on. But it absolutely, to what we've discussed, will continue to just come down to traveler experience and making sure that is second to none.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the topics that has been pretty big lately in like brand innovators and marketing of the different, events that have been going on is brand authenticity. And as you were talking about, you have these 3 different brands that you're trying to, kind of build different segments and audiences and needs and reasons why someone would go to one over another based on what is they need. What is it that you're doing to make sure that you're staying authentic to each of those brands as you are doing lots of different forms of marketing?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think, the authenticity piece is so key, right? So crucial. No one wants to be talked at in a very generic fashion, right? It's, I think as marketers and advertisers, we have a responsibility to change the way in how we're speaking. We're not speaking at our customers. We're kind of creating a community in which we can engage with them. So the authenticity is very key. I think a lot of the work is done, at a kind of brand level, tightening up kind of our tone of voice, our, all the way down to the types of, our photography choices, making sure that, one example I can give you is, the travel industry is absolutely filled with the generic, sort of zoomed out, big sweeping shots of X, destination,
Sure.
couples sat on the beach eating whatever, walking down, holding hands. It doesn't really evoke any sense of anything other than, yeah, it's a beautiful destination. Yep, you see Greece with the blue roofs and the white, they're the same, right? Anyone
Right.
can show that photo. For us, it's been a shift to really focusing on people enjoying a moment. That might not just be, obvious at first, but really through a kind of very sort of cinematic, sort of a stylized way of looking at a photo and just knowing that you can taste that thing that they're tasting, or that feeling of the sand in your toes just from the way in which we are advertising and marketing travel. So I think that leans very much into authenticity. It's helping someone to put themselves in that place, and really evoking some emotion from it, and doing that through the different the brand platforms that we're putting forward. And also always, especially with our brand Expedia, the creative platform is made to travel. We literally were made to travel. I think we were the first OTA. So it's playing on those words that when you do travel with us, we are the experts. So it's the information that you're getting is coming from a place of kind of deep rooted knowledge within the destination. And we work with our partners across the globe, tourism boards, our hotel partners, airlines, to make sure that we are getting the expertise and information that is authentic, and is going to provide that that level of, again, authenticity and expertise that you have confidence to know that when you're with us, that you've got we're giving you the right information.
Right. And that, when it comes to traveling, it's usually, you're spending a little more than you would on, shoes off Instagram.
Depends on
And
what shoes.
I know I'm on, but also, there's always that little bit of like anxiety of like, okay, this is a lot. I'm taking time, I'm taking money. I booked it through here. Can I trust it? I'm about to do this. Is it going to be easy and convenient? That is like super
It's a huge,
important.
absolutely. And we take pride in knowing that our platform is, it's unbelievable when it comes to, the what you're getting, right? There are no hidden anythings.
Right.
But on that same front, we have also on our partner side really cracked down on the product and supply that is on our platform. That is part of the traveler experience. Like it's okay if you want to book a 1-star hotel. Like, we're not saying that everyone has to travel 5 stars,
Right.
but even if you're booking a 1-star hotel, you want to know that it is safe, that it is clean, that it is all those things. And so we're rewarding our partners in the same way we reward our travelers for just being good, good citizens of Expedia in the way, right? So it's, we won't sell a product that doesn't stand up to the standards that we hold, because that goes back to that traveler experience. You can have the best experience you can have on Expedia, but what's actually the most important is the experience you have in that hotel that you're staying in,
Right.
or that airline that you've booked with. And if that isn't a great experience, well, guess what? Whose customer service is getting called? It's ours. And so it's really making sure that not just, the whole transaction on our platform, but actually having the confidence to know that the product that you're getting is something that we would be proud to sell.
Yeah. And also just being very transparent. If somebody is, if it is a 1-star hotel, what is it that makes it 1 star? If you're expecting 5-star, for
Yeah,
once
expectation management. Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
So being
Always a
very
good thing.
yeah, being very transparent on, the information, talking
Yeah,
about whether it's the hotel or whatever it may be, of like, hey,
that's right.
here's what you're going to get. And, I'm someone that reads the reviews because, I trust what those people say. So I think that's huge too, like making sure that you're taking those reviews into account as you are, bringing on these different partners, so that you see it from the traveler's side as well.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crucial.
yeah. And then also, so obviously like safety and trust and all of that, but then also convenience. And we were talking yesterday, kind of when talking about different technologies and what TapOnIt does specifically with text marketing and communication, being able to easily contact a traveler about something having to do with their trip is so important, because again, you do have a little bit of anxiousness, like what's going to happen with my flight, what time can I check into my hotel, what time are they going to make me check out of my hotel. So making sure that you don't miss notifications about things like that is huge too.
As a channel, I think it's such a because you're pushing information to the traveler, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get that it's just such an important communication channel, right? I mean, emails, I mean, I can't tell you where, like, I miss so many like important emails because I can't tell one from the other.
Right.
But I know when I get a notification for either a text message or an in-app notification telling me that my gate has changed, or I'm able to check out of my hotel, those are the things I read. And I think from a again, customer centricity point of view, those are also the channels, which I know you're definitely the expert at. It's like, how do you talk to the recipient in a way that is it is leveraging the intimacy of that channel. I don't know if you've got any best practices. I would love to know them, because it is such an important channel and tool to have that one-to-one dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely an incredible way to make sure people are never missing an update that is extremely important to their travel experience. But not only that, then when they're back, like based on what they did, what else are they going to be interested in, right? Because after you get back from a vacation and you've kind of gotten back into the groove, you're like, all right, I'm ready to plan my next one.
Totally.
So, making sure that you can, stay in contact with your travelers about what their next move should be, doing it via text with, links to content or options to, do other things from there is just a guaranteed way, very efficient way to, make sure you're staying in front of your travelers.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, we've got a few more minutes. Have you seen any predictions or announcements so far that makes you excited for 2023 in the sense of travel, in the sense of technology, marketing, anything?
I mean, what an exciting time to be alive right now in media. I mean, who needs like any sort of a sporting event in the moment, like World Cup aside, like every day just waking up and seeing what's happening on Twitter. And I think it's so interesting, as again, marketers, and just to see how all of this pans out, the sort of the impacts that are hitting with some of the bigger technology companies. I just think it's we're in for a roller coaster. For me, I think people have been saying it for a couple of years around meta and virtual and the metaverse or whatever. I'm getting too old to even talk about it anymore, but I'm still like total jury's out. I think, one, from a traveler's perspective, like nothing beats doing like something in real life.
Sure.
Having that human connection, being actually in a destination, experiencing the things, sure beats any sort of virtual world I can ever think of.
Right.
So I know that everyone's still talking about that, but for me, I have to say I'm a little bit of a doom and gloomer on it. obviously always open, but I just still feel like everyone wants to have that kind of personal connection. And it's just really important that we do have that.
Absolutely. IRL, in real life. It's where
IRL.
So are there any questions from the attendees that you want to ask Angelique in regards to travel?
Anything.
Just anything. No, you can throw them into the Q&A if there are any questions. We got to cover a ton of really, really interesting information. I absolutely love talking about travel, so we could do this all day. But I guess then we'll just, I have one last question to kind of end us off, but is there any personal travel that you have coming up, or either end of the year or into 2023 that you are most excited about?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely practicing what we preach. So my husband and my two kids were off to Australia and New Zealand for the holidays. I am very excited. I'm not very excited about the plane ride, although my 5-year-old is so excited. He's going to be on 6 planes, and we were talking about it. I was thinking, like, just the sheer amount of time on a plane with 2 small children still feels totally overwhelming. But we have to just say it's all worth it once we get there. I'm really excited to see friends and family that we haven't seen in Australia since before the pandemic, and also get to explore New Zealand again a bit more. We love it. We've done the South Island, and this time we're going to do the North. So if anybody has any recommendations on must-dos, please send my way. But yeah, we're really excited. And yeah, we're just going for it.
That is absolutely incredible. You guys are going to have the best time. I feel like maybe daycare on planes could be an idea.
Yeah.
There's our $1 million
sky nannies.
I love it, right? That's amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Angelique. This has been
Sara.
such a great conversation. And then I will turn it over to Diana.
I love that. Thank you both. That was fantastic. Daycare on planes is definitely the dream come true. And Sara, what about you? Do you have any exciting trips planned for the next year?
Oh, thank you for asking. I am going to Belize in February with just one of my girlfriends. We're just taking a little, I always try to go somewhere in either like January, February, just to get out and get some sunshine. So last year I went to Hawaii. So this year I'm going to Belize, which I've never been to. So if anyone has travel suggestions for that area, I'm excited just for a week in the sun and food and exploring. And yeah, that's the plan.
That sounds fantastic.
What about you?
I don't know yet.
Well,
I just finishing up this year, had a lot of travel, so it's been a good year with travel, and hoping to do a lot more next year. But
we'll go read some of our trends.
It is. I want to. What are the big trends? What are the trending locations for next year?
Cities are back, so I think everyone's sick of being out in nature and just away. So we're definitely predicting the return of kind of capital cultures. So yeah, Lisbon and all those great spots. But yeah, it's and some wellness retreats, traveling for food. Yeah, all of the above. I'll take all of them for sure.
Yeah, I know an amazing site that would be able to help you plan your trip. If you know.
I don't know. Not heard of it.
Sounds great. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. We hope to have you back soon.
Wonderful.
Likewise. Thanks,
you.
Take care. Have great vacations.
Bye.
Bye.